For the media, I can understand if he says they are not funded by the government, because media organizations fund their coverage. But for a government that is telling us that subsidy is gone, we should tie our belts and manage spending this amount of money, even if they say they are not funding
they are. I was just going to respond to that when you dropped.
Even if they say they are not funding it, why would you have in your entourage someone that has nothing to do with your meeting?
A typical example, according to the president, 15 persons, Jonathan Lokbobiri, traveled with 15 persons,
from the
as including himself, that's 16, traveled for this. Please, help us make better sense of this, if you
may. Let me say, when you say delegates of a state party to any summit of the United Nations, they are going under the auspices of that state.
Yes.
Now, the reference, again, when you say Nigerian delegation, Nigerian delegates, right, that attended the summit, they are all on the list of the government traveling. And you cannot be called to come travel with the government and then you're expected to fund your travel. Now, the spokesperson of the president or the presidency should have been able to come clear to say, look, this is the number of persons that the government was responsible for. Any other person that went there went on his own. And let me tell you, this number, 1,400 plus, would exclude any person that had gone there on his own or her own. Some researchers may go to COP28 on their own. Even coming from
any people that covered the story went there on their own.
Even as Nigerians, but if they were coming from any part of the world, I probably could have gone there on my own.
Yeah, but we're talking
about delegates, and
Nigerian
the statement was clear.
And these are people that will be identified by the federal government.
They funded them. And okay, let's be very frank about this. We know what these things really, how they play out. When there are these kinds of travels, the protocol office will release from government end, yes, truly, they would call for some other nominations. All of these considerations, including what they say, the IYC and other probably organizations, and government, those are government parastatals. Those ones clearly are government. Even if the funding is not directly from the NNP, from the presidency, it's from the government. If NIMASA is sending delegation to go with the president on COP, it's still public fund. And then they ask the question, can they share information? That's another aspect of it. If you have a huge delegation to go somewhere, to go to Dubai for COP, and then they are all government parastatals and agencies, the point the man is trying to make is that if we were comfortable like the other high income earners, you probably wouldn't bother about whether it's 2,000 persons that went. But considering where we are, can I tell you, this is a country that even the president has just presented the appropriation bill with a huge deficit of over 8 trillion naira. And then even in that appropriation bill, you're talking about debt servicing, over 30%.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we discuss these things, those who watch wouldn't probably understand.
And we're going for more. We're also going for more
borrowing. This current budget is even going to be funded more. That's why I say it's on the deficit.
Yeah.
Borrowing will not be less than 8-point-something trillion. So when you put all of these, what's the rationale? What's the reason in simple things I can avoid high cost? Get a sizable number of persons, everybody having a clear assignment of what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And see, you go and then you can share information and take a national position.